What is going on, Jerome's? Happy Monday. So this offseason, there's going to be a lot of quarterback movement going on. Even more movement than me after those Gokujang wings that I made on Sunday. Woo! They were fiery. Like, even as a Korean, my stomach was just like, nah. Anyways, so we got predictions for where all these jabronis are going to end up. So let's dive on in right up at the top. Aaron Rodgers, I think it's like 95% that he's going to get traded this offseason. I think that he's traded the Jets for a conditional fourth-round pick. That's right. That's all that they get. And, I mean, the Jets, they get the corpse of Aaron Rodgers. Congratulations. They do have some weapons. They do have one of the best defenses in the league. Sure. And then go from there. And then the Packers start the Jordan Love dynasty. What's love got to do with it? Tom Brady, another major domino. He's out of contract with the Buccaneers. I think that he leaves in free agency and joins the Raiders. Hooks up with Josh McDaniels again. Of course, they have a good rapport from their Patriots days. Plus, I mean, the AFC West doesn't look as daunting as it did initially. Plus, you do get Devontae Adams, maybe Hunter Renfrow, maybe Waller, who knows? And the defense does have some nice pieces. And Brady, you know, going after one more ring, we'll see what happens. But dude's going to be 46. Come on. Lamar Jackson. So the way that the Ravens offense operated down the stretch was all the advertising that Lamar needed to get paid, and rightfully so. Is he unique? Yes. Does he still leave something to be desired as a passer? Sure. But dude can make plays. Dude is perennially, when healthy, among the league MVPs, and he really is a game changer. So I think that even though the Ravens have said that they want him back, I think that bridge has been burned, and I think that they do franchise tag him, and then they trade him to the Falcons. Yeah, bring it on. Him and Arthur Smith's offense would be fantastic. And I mean, Lamar, you got weapons down there. You got Pitts, you got Drake London, Cordero's still down there doing things. Tyler Algier is a nice young running back. So all of a sudden, the Falcons get super interesting. And plus, that division is very winnable, especially once Brady's leaving now. So Lamar gets a fresh start with the Falcons, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Also, he's going to get paid all the money. Speaking of all the money, jumping Joe Burrow, he resets the quarterback market. Gets $50+ million per year, and not even batting an eye. And what's weird is that the Bengals are notoriously one of the cheaper franchises in the league, but I mean, you got Joe Burrow. You're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to do anything else with him, so just pay him. Next up, Derek Carr. Signs with the Commies. Now, yes, he is under contract with the Raiders, but he's got a balloon payment due in February, so I think that teams are just going to wait until he is cut. Now, he could have some other suitors. You look at the Colts. You look at some other various teams that need a quarterback, but Derek Carr, just going to Washington, and I do think that Ron Rivera needs some stability at quarterback to try and win some games. He didn't get it with Wentz. He didn't get it with Heineke. But I do think that Derek Carr, in the spot with Washington, where they do have a decent running game, where they do have Scary Terry, all of a sudden that is kind of interesting. Next up, Daniel Jones. He gets paid with the Giants, where it's a gift and a curse. Like Dayball resurrecting the career of Daniel Jones, and then they have to pay him $30 million per year. Okay. Baker Mayfield. So he resigns with the Rams. Now, yes, they do have Stafford, but they can get out from underneath that contract. And I think Stafford may actually be a little bit washed. And with Baker, I mean, him and McVay clearly had a bit of a connection. And yes, even though they won that game after Baker was in the building for about 2 minutes. But I think that there's enough there that maybe it's kind of interesting. And maybe Baker does see the writing on the wall, even if Stafford does come back, that he's not going to go out and be handed or earn a starting job necessarily, but sticking with McVay, who notoriously is one of the best offensive minds in the game, minus Kevin O'Connell, he has a chance to really resurrect his career and take over once they're done with Stafford completely. So I think that's something to keep in mind. Next up, Jimmy Garoppolo. So the Niners have a problem of too many quarterbacks. So they got Josh Johnson. All right, fine. So they got Brock Purdy. He's clearly going to be the future. And also we got Trey Lance listed on here. So, yes, he's going somewhere else. And Jimmy G. Jimmy G is like the new Andy Dalton, where it's like, you're okay, but you feel like you could do better, but you could also do worse at the quarterback position. Speaking of Andy Dalton, he goes and takes Andy Dalton's job, goes and signed with the Saints, even though, the Saints have some very interesting weapons on offense. The defense is fantastic, but Jimmy is better than Jameis. Jimmy is better than Andy Dalton in this spot, so it's certainly whatever. And the Saints, I'm sure would love to swing on a future franchise quarterback, but it's not in the cards this offseason. Geno Smith resigns with the Seahawks, gets himself paid a little bit, upwards of $30 million per year. I think he certainly earned that. Trey Lance, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Traded the Vikings for a conditional 4th-round pick, and I may have greatly overestimated the Trey Lance trade market. Now, I know people are saying it was like, "Whoa, he's a bust. He's a this. He's whatever." We've literally seen him play 1.5 games in the NFL as a starter. So I'm not ready to completely write him off yet. I think that Trey Lance was a number 3 overall pick for a reason. I think you're betting on traits. I think that if you're writing him off, it's just trying to satisfy a narrative that you probably had before the draft. I think he has tons of potential. I think that him sitting behind Kirk for a year, maybe 2, and learning and absorbing everything from Kevin O'Connell makes all the sense in the world. So bring the pride of Marshall, Minnesota back home, and then sit behind Kirk. Next up, Mike White. So with the Jets trading for Aaron Rodgers, also forgot to mention in our scenario, they're hanging on to Zach Wilson to back him up. But Mike White is a free agent. He leaves, heads back down to Florida, baby. That's right. The pride of USF heads back to Tampa, joins the Buccaneers. And, I mean, the Bucs are going to be bad, but at least they'll be entertaining. And Mike White will bring that. Teddy Bridgewater, our guy. Hey, Teddy. Signs with the Cardinals. Now, rumors are that Kyler could be available mid-season. He tore his ACL, also had some meniscus damage, so that's a more severe knee injury. So he's going to take his time, maybe get back mid-season. So this could be, sort of the, try and keep the ship afloat, sort of like the Jacoby Brissett signing with the Browns, obviously for much different reasons, until the starting quarterback gets back. And then into the draft, just expose all of them right away. So Bryce Young, Colts trade up to 1 with the Bears, up from 4 to go get him. CJ Stroud for the Texans at 2. I love CJ Stroud, man. I think that he has a chip and an attitude. I think he just goes out and gets it. I really like him. Plus, he's not 5'9" like Bryce Young. Will Levis, who is the Josh Allen of this draft, where you're just betting on just physical traits as opposed to college production. I don't know, man. But the Ravens, who do have that. Sorry, I forgot to mention that part of the Lamar Jackson deal was the number 8 overall pick in this year's draft. So they get that from the Falcons. They stick and pick and take Will Levis, who's, I don't know, like a combination of Big Ben with some movement skills. Who knows? Yeah, so there you go. They got their future franchise quarterback, Will Levis, at 8. And then Anthony Richardson going to the Panthers at 9. Where the Panthers, I mean, Frank Reich gets his quarterback of the future, and Anthony Richardson has as high of a ceiling as any of the quarterbacks in this draft, but also I think he has the lowest floor. But we'll see what happens. Where we saw flashes at Florida, inconsistency is certainly there. Mechanics need to be broken down and rebuilt, but super interesting, super electric, dynamic playmaker going to Carolina at pick number 9. So that's it. That's predicting the 2023 quarterback carousel. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts. Where did we get it right? And where did we get it right? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.